Episode 5B, Crenshaw Production, The Whistleblower by Willie J Mitchell, a.k.a. Pablo Crenshaw. Attention. Attention. Episode 5A is about Judge Timothy Batan dismissing my case against Judge Myra Dixon, J.R. Mathers, Aaron Johnson, and Officer Jason Westcott. This is my attorney, Scott Hall, who had a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against these people. And Judge Timothy Batan said my complaint was frivolous. Well, that's not the first time he's dismissed my complaint. 4A, Susan Edline, 4B, Myra Dixon, 4C, Judge Crenshaw, and 4D, Judge J.R. Mathers. These people are all guilty of obstruction of justice, malicious prosecution, and fraudulent convictions. Now, Myra Dixon went to Howard University, where my sister went to school, law school. My sister was a federal prosecutor for the Justice Department, Presidential Drug Task Force, President Reagan, against the drug cartel 8-ball gang. This is my sister. Myra Dixon was jealous of my sister, so she saw a chance to stick it to me. There's another picture of my sister. Robin Charlene Mitchell, spelled with a Y. Well, you were able to get my case dropped by my attorney by saying I was guilty of public intoxication. Aaron Johnson, James Spivey, who were following instructions by Lieutenant Jason Westcott, these are the Roswell, Georgia police, assaulted me on the way home. I get home, I call 911 to go to the hospital because I'm sick. Johnson and Spivey kicked my door in, picked my naked black ass up, put my hands up against the wall with a gun in the back of my head. She started sucking my penis. She had it down her throat. She loves to suck a black man's penis, and she wanted it so bad, he had to restrain me with a gun to my head. And then he went up in my butthole after telling me it was a gift from this other homosexual, James, coward, lying son of a bitch. This son of a bitch went to court and committed perjury 3 times against me. And it's cold, hard facts and evidence that Judge Timothy Batan has refused to allow me my day in court for a jury to decide whether or not my complaint has merit. But instead of being a judge, he's being the executioner. Your job, Timothy Batan, is that of a referee. You don't have a dog in this fight. See, his name's Senior. That means you got children. I bet it wouldn't be frivolous if me and a black policewoman assaulted you, kicked your door in, put your naked ass up against the wall, she sucked your white dick, and I fuck you in your white flat ass, and then we take you outside in front of your little white neighbors, naked, grab your dick in front of them, bend you over, take your ass to jail, and don't allow you, after 4 days, to call an attorney. Don't book you, fingerprint you, or nothing. It's called kidnapping. But for me to complain about what they did to me is frivolous. Have you lost your racist mind? Number one, yes, you have. Because you believed dismissing my complaint would stop me from letting the whole world know that the judicial system is still as racist as it was when they murdered Emmett Till. See that boy's face? His mother made sure she had an open casket so you could see what y'all did to that child. And after the white men bragged about it, guess what? A judge, just like this one, a white judge, allowed them to get away with murder. This country is evil as hell against people of color and our children. After slavery was abandoned, right here in Mobile, Alabama, the last slave ship came here 50 years after it was abolished. Nobody was ever punished. You got massacres of black people who tried to build their own little townships in America, one after another. 3, maybe 4, just massacred these black people. And no white person was ever held accountable. That's the reason they can storm the Capitol, because you are not going to hold white folks accountable for what they do. But guess what? We got social media now. You don't want to teach slavery in school? We don't give a fuck. We can Google it. Bug breaking, how you used to emasculate the black slave man to make him look weak by hanging him up naked, beating him, and then putting him over a stump and fucking him in his ass while he's restrained. That's what y'all doing to me. And Judge Timothy Batten Sr., who I believe was raised by white supremacists, and they were raised by white supremacists, and I don't know how many children they got. His name's Senior, so I know he at least got one. Ain't got to worry about his son being threatened to have his brains blowed off and tell him to stop fucking my daddy in his ass and sucking his dick in front of me. It's evil and sick. Well, I lost a brand new truck. I lost a tractor and 2 trailers. And my son, when that white man ran that red light, that Jason Westcott tried to frame me for, when he tried to kill me in the emergency room where I was being treated for traumatic brain injury, I woke up to him hitting me with his fist in my head. This the car my son was in, and he never got past the 10th grade after that. He was headed to the pros in baseball. He was creating music at 12, had a band, and they were going around playing in nightclubs and YMCA and at high schools. But my son don't deserve the opportunity to fulfill the dreams of a parent. See that? See that Class A? Look at the address. 655 Whitehall Way, Roswell. They refused to let my sister come and pick me up from the hospital. And then after I got out the hospital, they dropped me off naked at my sister's house, the federal prosecutor and her little girl and my children in that nice, rich neighborhood. My doctor sent me to Northside Mental Health, and guess what? They arrested me again because the doctor sent me to get help because I had been raped. She sucked my dick. He fucked me in my ass, and he told me to do it. And because her envy of my sister, she let him take my son out that courtroom. There he is at his brother's baptism. That's his godmother. That's his godfather. His mother's dead. She died of breast cancer. I was all they had. So not only are you in violating of your oath of office, but you're a child molester. Tell that child right there, Judge Tim Batan, that he don't have the same rights because I'm black that your children got. Hmm? Tell your children that when you took your oath of office, that you took an oath to protect the constitutional rights of American citizens except for niggas. I bet you didn't say that because they wouldn't have let you be a judge. Right here, I need to clear my name because right here it shows that they denied me my hazmat material endorsement so I could go to work because what? Of fraudulent conviction and malicious prosecution. And with all that going on, this little boy is stuck going backwards instead of forward, like Judge Timothy Batan children, because white folks don't have to take accountability for nothing they do to the black man in America. But it's a new day. In closing, I want to remind y'all of something. Proud Boys, Ku Klux Klan, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, all you son bitches, I could put an end to racism in America. All I got to do is pass a bill that a DNA, a good one, is mandatory of every American citizen. And it must be made public. Because during slavery, one drop of black blood meant you was a nigger. And the white man was raping and selling and enslaving all the white children that they made from raping the black slaves from Africa, the children they made from raping the Africans, you nasty sick son. And then you rape your grandchildren and sold them, brutalized them, and enslaved them. Did I mention you raped them? That's what started the Civil War. You said, they said, stop it. You said, over my dead body. Bam. In closing, I want to remind you of something, Judge Timothy Batan. My grandfather, Willie Crenshaw, was in an American uniform murdering oppressors, bigoted, racists in Germany. That's what Hitler was. That's what they were fighting for. My father, same father, grandfather that my sister, the former assistant federal prosecutor justice department, 16 years old, joined the military under the name Mitchell because his father didn't want his only son to go to war and run the risk of being murdered while he was murdering oppressors, bigots, supremacists. I was my sister's security. I had a pistol, a permit, and I lived with my sister, the former assistant federal prosecutor of the Justice Department, on that same floor of that same building that you occupy, Timothy Batan, where I'm sending this appeal. Remember this. I was a victim of an assassination attempt After my sister successfully prosecuted the 8-ball game for President Reagan, took all those drugs out of this country, she went to Denver, Colorado. I stayed behind. I was wrestling with the NWA, had a contract to wrestle for Crockett Promotion. Had a beautiful fiance, and they got me. Shot me with a 44 Magnum. Stayed in the hospital for over a year. And the reason I know it had something to do with what she did for this country, I was in the hospital for over a year. She never once came to see me. Frivolous. She sucked my dick in front of my son. He gave the order. He fucked me in my ass. That a police report and stuff. Look at it. All you got to do is, and they refused to do open record request and allow me to have a copy of the dash cam video of her walking me across that parking lot the way she called Black and Latino children animals. She grabbed my dick in front of me. That's sexual assault against children. And here you go. The white folks mammy, volunteer mammy. You are what we call the white folks nigger. Said I was guilty of public intoxication when she had a 911 call showing I was at home waiting on an ambulance. But it's frivolous for me to complain about that kind of treatment. Why is it frivolous? Because we are in the United States of America. And in this country, no matter how many black people are massacred, go to Google and look up massacres in the United States of black people. None of them white folks were ever held accountable. Just like you're doing to me. But guess what? Social media wide awake. Because I'm a what? Whistleblower.